And it's loading. All right, that's live. Let me get back to you guys here. All right, we're live. Um, Welcome back, everybody. Again, today I'm at work, so please pardon all the noise and things that you will see and hear. I wanted to take a few minutes to congratulate all of my per se nieces and nephews. I have adopted all of you. Um, Today marks something special because of the fact that there are a lot of people that don't get a chance to get brand new nieces and nephews. And myself and a few other people on this call have had the opportunity to witness several intelligent young people. And I want to make sure that you know that we appreciate you, number one. Number two, um, don't stop what you're doing. Maintain all of everything that you can going forward. And that means whatever, whoever you get in front of, always learn something from them. Don't just go to school and say, okay, once I graduate, that's it, no more learning. Doesn't work like that. Well, for some people, I know for a fact that that won't happen with you because of the simple fact that you have had the opportunity to learn something new. So thank you, number one, for that. Number two, or actually number three, I want to also take this opportunity to speak to all of the adults that have come to the kids call or the kids corner or the young adults, whatever we want to tag it, whatever you're comfortable with, I'm comfortable with. I don't believe in tagging people just because of your age. Some of the adults here have learned something. So I like Kids Corner. It's just something about it. But I want to say to all the adults that have come to the call, thank you for coming and witnessing our future, how they have taken the opportunity to learn something new and hopefully apply it to their lives as they grow up and pass that torch on to teach somebody younger than them. This is what is called it takes a village. Okay, that really means something. And I was brought up on that. That's why I do the things that I do. Family means everything to me. So I just wanted to put that thank you out there to everybody before we get started here. All right, okay, the call should be quiet from this point forward. Um, there's not a lot that I could talk about today, so I'm not going to keep you long simply because I'm not in front of my notes. But we did have homework. And before we get into that, because it is such a very deep subject, I want to touch on two things that have happened recently, and I want to make sure that you know about it. One of them you're fully aware of because it's all over the news um, for the information of the elect. Now we can have a conversation about what this whole thing is about. The vice president to be or elect, you have to say that until after January, till he actually takes office, but he is the elect vice president, Vance. Now, two things, well, actually, four things I want to talk about with him. Number one, he is fully aware of and deep into cryptocurrency. Okay, he is actually advising the elect president on the different values of crypto. You have cryptocurrency, you have digital currency, you have both, which means you have a digital representation of all three. You'll have the actual cash in hand, you'll have a digital representation of the cash, and then you'll have a coin that is a representation of the cash of a country. Number two, Mr. Vance, is also very aware of and helping in the projects of making everyone aware. Remember, we were talking about that the evolution of things a lot of people are not aware of. You guys have the opportunity to be aware of that because of this class or this conversation that we have. He's going to make sure that there's programs available to help grandma, grandpa, or those who have not had a chance to be on this call to get up to speed. Wallets, banks, crypto debit cards, just all of that. Number three, he is also very educated in all of the finances that crypto can be used in. So cryptocurrency is not just for a whole lot of hoopla on your wallet and people talking about what you can buy with it and all that. It actually has a purpose. Okay, so he is going to make sure that the president elect and everybody else is aware of the utilities that cryptocurrency is going to help with. And the last point that I want to point is he's young. So what that means to me, if they continue with presidents, I don't personally believe that it will go past this one. I think this is the last one. That's debatable. We'll find out. But he's young enough to step in after the president elect. All right. So it'll be a continued 4 years of that knowledge. Now, with those four things being known and what you know now and the future that's coming, all go hand in hand. We already know that there's been 4 or 5 different evolutions of the money or currency or finance of this country and the world. We already know that the current finances and instruments are no longer valuable, which we knew that beforehand, but now you can actually admit it. We also know that with every evolution of a financial platform, per se, there's going to be stress or disorder or uh, people that don't want to accept it. There's people that have a problem with the individual himself. There's people that want to destroy this country. Whether you believe that or not, all you have to do is look at the last 4 years in this country, and you will see it very clearly. The last thing that I want to hit on in that arena is what you don't know is what they have yet to tell you. So I'm looking forward to something called EBS, Echo Bravo Sierra, or Sheila. EBS is going to be the emergency broadcast system to which they are going to tell you all of the stuff that the people have been doing. And when I say the people, I'm talking about the past administration, the one before it, and the one before it, and the one before it. It has all been fraud. Okay? Fraud, pure fraud. Of course, that is my opinion, and to which I must add, any and everything that I speak on this call is of my own opinion. I do not have license to give financial advice and or legal advice. If you need that advice, not as a kid, but you never know, please seek the advice of a licensed practitioner of those things. But For the most part, any and everything is my own opinion. Everyone is available to have one. Your right is to be able to express it. Okay. Now, let me continue and I will go into the last part of it. So, the evolution has that last part, which is the actual evolution itself. Like I said, you're going to have stress. You're going to have people that don't want it. You're going to have, you already seen them. You have people that don't understand it, so they don't respect it. You have people that do understand it and want it to come in, like you and I. There are people, there's a lot more people that know about it than there is that don't. The last part of the evolution is the actual acceptance of it. And that's a big one. Some will accept it, a lot won't. The ones that won't are the ones that want to keep fraud going. Because with fraud, you can get away with stuff, you can do things and make deals and all this other stuff. But Basel 3, which is a law for the bank system to make them be upfront and transparent in all of their transactions, is stopping that. And that's what they don't like. They like the ability to make deals in the back room and not tell everybody about it. They like the idea of making trillions of dollars off of kickbacks when they send help to another country. Hello, if you've been paying attention. And then they don't like the fact that they have to show everything. I love it because it keeps you honest. And people that have been running this country for the past 8 to 10 years have not been honest, period. Not to even say that the one that's there now or is taking is 100% honest. No one is really. Someone always has something to hide. I had to wait for someone who was calling during the call. So, with that being said, let's go into the understanding of chattel. That is the homework assignment, or was, and I'm interested to hear from all of you to find out what you found out. And then at the end, I will give my definition and understanding of it. All right.
Mr. Lewis, can
So,
I go?
absolutely.
Okay. Um, Chattel refers to a piece of property that isn't real estate. It could be an animal, money, or goods. During the time of physical slavery, chattel was used as a term to define a slave who was personal property of the slave owner. Um, from the 17th to the 19th century in the 13 British colonies, chattel slavery was a dominant system. Enslaved individuals were no more than a source of labor or commodity that could be traded, bargained, or sold like livestock. Um, their labor would go towards building a new American nation. They cleared forests, raised bridges, built ships and mansions, including the White House. Financial gain was at its peak because of this system. It was one of the most profitable systems in history, delivering a promising climb in social, political, and economic power. By 1860, almost 4 million slaves were worth almost $3 billion, making them the largest financial asset the history of the US economy has ever seen. And they were worth more than all the manufacturing and railroads combined. And that's it for me.
I have to pause. Oh my God. Jaden, Jaden. Do me a favor and read that one more time. And I want everybody, and go slower. I want everybody to listen to what she just said. One more time, please.
Okay. Chattel refers to a piece of property that isn't real estate. It could be an animal, money, or goods. During the time of physical slavery, chattel was used as a term to define a slave who was personal property of the slave owner. Uh, from the 17th to the 19th century in the 13 British colonies, chattel slavery was a dominant system. Enslaved individuals were no more than a source of labor or commodity that could be traded, bargained, or sold like livestock. Their labor would go towards building a new American nation. They cleared forests, raised bridges, built ships and mansions, including the White House. Financial gain was at its peak because of this system. It was one of the most profitable systems in history, delivering a promising climb in social, political, and economic power. By 1860, almost 4 million slaves were worth almost $3 billion, making them the largest financial asset the history of the US economy has ever seen. They were worth more than all the manufacturing and railroads combined. That's it for me.
Awesome job. Thank you so much.
Miss Jules, could I go next?
Yes, please.
Chattel is a term for personal property that can be moved, like furniture or a car, rather than land or buildings. They often mean something a person owns, almost like their belongings. Another definition is that it can refer to items people control or have authority over. For example, a farmer's livestock, like cows or sheep, could be considered chattel. That's it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Y'all hold on one second. Okay, my apologies. Go right ahead.
Mr. Lewis, can I go next?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so hold on, let me get to it. So I found several definitions of the word chattel, but for right now, um, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna so chattel refers to personal property that someone owns, like furniture, clothes, or a car. It's different from things like houses or land, which are known as real property. Chattel includes almost anything that can be moved from one place to another and belongs to you. For example, a bicycle would be considered chattel because you can take it anywhere and it's your own personal property. Chattel is usually anything that is not fixed to the ground or tied to land, making it easy to transport or take yourself with you if you move. So this word is a very interesting word because I found another definition of what it means. So chattel also referred to slavery, meaning one person has total ownership over another. Um, so when it comes to slavery, there are two forms of chattel, domestic chattel and productive chattel. For example, the domestic chattel have minimal household duties. I am assuming things like cleaning, cooking, or taking care of the kids. Maybe I'm not really sure. And productive chattel is working in the field and in the mine. So those are the different meanings that I found in regards to the word chat.
Perfect.
That's it.
Awesome job. Thank you.
May I go next?
Yes, please.
Okay. Chattel was a catch-all term, meaning it had a variety of possibilities or categories. Chattel's category is property. This was movable or changeable property, meaning it had to be touchable things and things other than real estate. This includes animals, loans or leases, and anything that can be used as money. Chattel is considered a security agreement for lenders and holds an ownership interest over loaners. This was also a term used for the owning of slaves. Chattel slavery was a common form of slavery in America. It allowed people to be considered legal property, bought, owned, and sold. And that's it.
Beautiful job. Thank you. That it? Is that everybody?
Mr. Lewis, this is Anselma. I haven't seen Keithan this morning, so I don't know. Last I know, her phone had a problem, so I haven't heard from her.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right. So let me, because I'm next on the machine. I don't want to mess up. So give me a second. It's not going to take long. Let me get this out, and I want you guys to think about what you just heard. And I want you to not only realize that we live in a country of men, and I can only say men this time because the women really didn't have nothing to do with that process. It was the men, the colonizer, that had everything to do with it. And I just want you to think about it for a minute while I get this load off, and then I'll give my definition. So bear with me a minute. Okay. So this is my final load, which is good with me. Bear with me, guys. Hold on. Put too much. Come on, don't turn that hard. Almost done. All right. I'm done. Empty. Let me pull up here. 1 minute. Let me just put this out as a public notice. When you see a truck trying to get into the lane, let them in the lane. I don't know why people make it so difficult to work with us out here when we're working. Everybody gets angry at the truck, but you want good roads, but you don't want to let them out to do the work. Crazy. People are so selfish. Anyway, now that I have given my little 2 cents today, I want to give an extra 2 cents on things that have transpired. First and foremost, I want to say thank you for the beautiful information on the word chattel and the homework assignment that you have graciously taken and put into your own words. Thank you. Let me clean out the truck and I'll be right back. All right. I do appreciate you for waiting. I'm going to try to keep this as quick as possible. All right. First and foremost, I want to say this about this word chattel and to give my 2 cents on it. I'm even going to put the windows up because I want this to be heard without any interference. Chattel, to me, in my understanding of it, is one of the biggest travesties known to mankind. Not to say that it just started with us, because it's always been. It just got a name with us. For as long as man has been known, there has been the assumption that a man could put himself over another man, proclaim himself either a god or an owner. So to understand the word chattel, you have to understand where it came from in the first place. And it goes back much further than we would comfortably be able to say we knew about. It is the pure evilness to think that one can own another person, another living being, when you have not the right to own anything. And if you really think about it, you never really own anything but yourself. Like they said, property. They use the word property, and that's what you are in their eyes. Okay? You belong to them. We must take a quick moment, not too quick, but a moment of silence for every, and I do mean every, living being that was put in that mindset or put in that position to be owned and used as property. And it's not all black. Let's get that real clear. Slavery was not a black thing. A lot of people would think that because they're short-minded. But you have to have a broad mind and understand that slavery came from somewhere. The processes have changed over the years as to how that slavery has been put down. It has been changed in the name of it to hide it in plain view. It has been glorified in a way to make you not see it. Okay? To make you think you're a part of the system. but it hasn't gone anywhere. It's just changed uniforms. It's just changed the suit that it wears. Chattel is pure evil, is the definition, in my opinion. It has nothing to do with anything but pure evil. So let's look at the uniform or the suit that it wears in present day time. There's a thing called employment. There's a thing called manager, CEO, CFO, owner. Do those words ring a bell? Does the purpose of these individuals that call themselves managers, supervisors, CEOs, owners, what is their job? What is their outline of what they are to do at said job? Now I'm going to drop some knowledge on you so that you can see it in its new and old at the same time uniform or suit that it wears. There is a thing called job. You got to go to the plant. All right. The auto workers. Oh, we got to go to the plant. That's where the money's at. All right. That was the thing in Detroit. To be able to work at one of the automotive plants. Now pay attention to the words. Plant. What do you do on a farm? Plant things, right? What do you do at any job? You go there to do a specific job. At this said job, you're going to have supervisors. You're going to have managers. What are they supervising and what are they managing? You. Me. And everybody that goes to one of these individual places. Chattel are the employee of these said jobs. So what has changed? Nothing. Just the suit that it wears. All over, everywhere, there are different jobs that have different amounts of pay. All right? At these jobs, these managers are the same people, if you were looking at it in the slavery sense, are the ones that kept the guns at the edge of the plantation. Plantation. Okay, they would hold the shotguns and would shoot anybody that left or went to the bathroom or anything other than what it is that they're there to do. They would be shot. Now, most people would think, well, if they shoot them, then they have to go to jail. No, because they own them. They're their property. So they could do with it. Notice I said it. You're not even considered a human. In their eyes, you are only 1/6 of a human. The rest was animal. So they could own you in their mind. Chattel is everybody that's working for somebody. I don't care how much you think you're being paid and how well you are at the top of it, you still answer to someone. Notice I said answer. Can you go to your job and do whatever you want? Nope. You cannot. Do you set the pay of what you receive? Nope. You do not. You are told what you will receive and what to do, or else you're gotten rid of. Go away. I don't care what bills you have. I could care less. If you're not doing what I want you to do, you go away. That's ownership. That is ownership. So let's look at the other side of that and why it's such a horrible, horrible thing. The other side is that we allowed it to happen. Isn't that crazy? But why did we allow it to happen? Because they own everything. Think about it. Where does your money come from? Some type of employment. How much money do you get? What they say you can have. What are you worth? Billions. What do you get? Thousands. Chattel is a very evil thing. And I pray to God that it goes away permanently at the turn of the next evolution. Because at the turn of the next evolution, watch this now, you are in control. You set down the law of what you participate in, how much you receive, when you can and can't use it. The oppressor has to go away. That's the evil mindset, not just a certain class of people, the mindset itself, the whole mindset of oppression must be annihilated. And it's at the turn of the evolution. That's just my 2 cents on the word chattel. I appreciate your input, your understanding. And let's just give a moment of silence for every slave, including the ones today, that has died under the hand of an oppressor, that has died trying to prove they're good enough to not be killed, that died doing the work that the oppressor wouldn't do, that died because of all of the extra people that wouldn't do the work. Let's give them all a moment of silence. All right, is there any questions?
Mr. Lewis, I do have one question. So, is it fair to say that chattel is another word for employment or employee?
Yes, exactly what it is. That's the new uniform, the new suit, the disguise. That's exactly what it is.
Mr. Lewis, this is kind of off topic, but what do you think about Donald Trump winning the election?
Without um, hold on, let me get my words right. First, let's look at the choices that you had. Okay, let's do this methodically. And I'm going to put it in a way where you understand where I'm coming from. Personally, I voted for him. Absolutely. Second, my feeling about it is we need someone in that office that understands business, because business is about business, not different policies that don't really do anything for you. The whole presidency, and I'm just going to be frankly honest right here, the whole idea of a president is a failed system in my eyes, number one. And I do a simple analogy. One man cannot see what's happening everywhere in a whole country. Cannot. It's impossible. Can he see this person speeding right now? Does he know what officer should be patrolling this particular road at the moment to stop him from speeding, or her? No. I'm passing over a river at the moment. I'm on a bridge. Does he know what boats are in that water down below me that are traveling with narcotics? No. It's impossible. You can't, you know the boat's there. So to have one person in control of an entire country makes absolutely no sense to me. None. It's impossible. But in the same respect, you had two people that have had control of this country for 4 years. Two. What is the condition of your country at this moment? You're at the brink of World War III. Your economy is in the toilet. Your health, your personal economy of the people is also in the toilet. You have every country outside of the US laughing at us. You have multiple countries that took their worst criminal, the absolute worst of their worst criminals, put them on a bus and sent them to us. While these two individuals that were in control allowed it to happen. Allowed 21 million people into a country unchecked. So these two individuals allowed this to happen to try to get the upper hand. Oh, if we give them money and let them come in and they'll vote for us. No, they won't. They don't know who you are and could care less. It backfired on them. President Trump was putting an end to the border, they took it all down. He brought the economy up. Yes, he spent money, but you have, like they say, you have to spend money to make money. Our economy was coming back up. They destroyed that totally. So when you look at him, I only look at him because he does and has looked out for us. He's the only president put money back in your pocket. The rest of them have taken it out. The only one. The only one. Is he perfect? No. Are any of us? No. So I voted for him simply because it just makes sense. The two people that were there have almost killed us all. They allowed testing on human beings with experimental drugs. That's a violation of the Nuremberg Agreement. A lot of people don't even know what the Nuremberg Agreement is, much less what it covers. But they forced, listen to me, forced people to go take a shot that they had no idea what was going to happen. I think they did, but they played the fact that, oh, we didn't know. President Trump didn't do that to us. We already had him in office once. He never used anything experimental on us. He didn't put us into war. He did not add billions and billions of dollars to another country that has nothing to do with us, that has never helped us, that has done nothing but, watch this, launder money. Okay? So that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
I do agree because my grandfather was here earlier, and he is a part of the generation that just blindly votes Democrat without knowing why. And I told him that 60 to 80% of this country voted for Kamala Harris based on emotion rather than logic. They voted for her based on societal privilege, based on her rooting for they, them, based on them being able to keep their pronouns and so-called women's rights when it's really just an excuse to kill babies because they're not being careful. And voting for Trump, I mean, I personally did not vote this year because to me, it wasn't Democrat versus Republican. It wasn't good versus evil. It was evil versus evil. And I chose not to partake at all because I'm not, everything that I'm saying about Kamala doesn't make me a Trump defender because he is a terrible person. But I'm looking at him being the commander in chief of this country and keeping the economy stable in terms of bills being low, groceries being affordable, and all of that is logic that I'm presenting to the conversation that pity-seeking people and who want to keep their pronouns and what they don't like that, which is why Black people who did vote for Trump are considered coons and always Uncle Toms and whatnot, simply because they have logic that people who look like me cannot see or understand.
Absolutely.
So I agree with everything you said. You basically said everything that I told my grandfather when he was here.
We just have to open our eyes. I agree. Like I said, none of us are perfect. None of us. Not one. We all live in a glass house, and ye shall not cast a stone or be cast into the wilderness. Period. None of us are clean enough to throw a stone because we all live in a glass house. So the whole process stinks to me because of the simple fact, like stated, that one man can't see what's happening out here. That's why there's so much foolishness going on, trafficking babies and this and that. And, I could go on for hours on this because it's a very near and dear to my ideology. But I'm also, you have to keep it close, but don't bow down. I'm always going to stand up no matter what. I'm always going to stand up. And I appreciate that question. Anybody else? Nobody? All right. Well, like I said, I'm going to keep it short. I appreciate everyone who's come to the call. Thank
Sorry,
you.
Mr. Lewis. Sorry for interrupting you, Mr. Lewis, but
Okay.
there is one thing, it's not really, well, kind of is a question, but I just want your feedback on this. So the other day I learned something called index funds. It's so, investing in stock markets, people try to time the market to the right
Mm-hmm.
time to invest, but that's impossible. So
Mm-hmm.
index funds is where invest in multiple stock markets at one time because
Mm-hmm.
it averages goes up by at least 8 or 6%. So it doesn't really go down. It usually or it tends to go up. So I want your feedback. Well, I'm kind of giving you some homework this time. I want your
Mm-hmm.
feedback on this.
Okay. You want it now or next Saturday?
Whichever time works best for you.
Right now. So indexing. First off, that's called backdoor trading. There's no such thing as an index because it is a living thing when it's done correctly. And backdoor trading is what's illegal because what they will do is one country will say, well, we're getting ready to pick, I don't know, papaya. And we had a really good year this year. And they'll tell another country and say, well, we're going to buy that papaya. An indexer or an indexer would have an inside call between those two and ask the one selling it, how much you going to sell it for? That information is supposed to be not known until it goes for sale. They would get that number and then bet against it or invest in it so that when it's sold, there's double and sometimes triple money made. But in a case like what just happened with the supply chain around the world, where you have cargo ships sitting out in the ocean because they're not allowed to come in and empty their cargo, those papayas would be lost because it's a living item and it needs to be moved and eaten or consumed. If the consumer cannot buy it at this price that those two made an agreement on, and then Mr. Insider comes in and buys up a whole bunch of stock in it, and they don't actually get consumed, who loses? Both the seller and Mr. Investor. But guess what they would do? Instead of Mr. Investor losing, they would pull their investment. And as you said, 6% or so, where that would have been a 100% loss, they were allowed to pull back the investment, all but 6% of it, and call it a 6% loss when it should have been 100%. So indexing is extremely fraudulent. It's illegal. It is all the things that why we are in such a mess in our entire worth in this country because of deals like that, ideology like that, the fact that people, if you don't pay attention to what's happening, and that's an awesome thought for you to even go look at it, what if no one did what you did? Then it wouldn't be known. What if no one actually participated in the investigation? It wouldn't know this going. It wouldn't be known that it's going on, what I meant to say. So indexing is another form of backdoor deals, things that are cut where you and I have no knowledge of. But when you go to the grocery store, let's say that papaya did make it to port. You go get the papaya, you might pay $8 for it. The thing is only worth $3. But because no one checked, no one asked, no one knows, you pay $8 for it because you like papaya. You think nothing of it, nothing of the two transactions, nothing of the investor, nothing of the huge. Now look at it. The seller's going to get $3. The investor gets $8 for the same papaya. Not a different one, same one. So who in this deal makes out like a fat rat if it makes it to port? The indexer. Where does that money go? In their pockets? In the people that allow this to happen's pockets? In the countrymen or presidents' import, export pockets? And it comes out of ours. So yes, that's indexing.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Any other questions? All right. So let's get on out of here. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you so much. Go to the movies, get some popcorn, eat a Snickers, one, and enjoy your weekend. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon,
Thank you,
Mr. Lewis.
for
Thank you.
very informative call.
Good day, Mr.
Thank
Lewis. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
you.
Bye, Mr. Lewis.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Montalvo. Have a great day. Stay safe.
Thank you. Absolutely. I'm done. I'm getting ready to park right now.
Thank you, Montalvo. Have a good day.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you, Montalvo. Have a great rest of the weekend.
Yes, ma'am.